Welcome back. In this video, we'll explore 5 principles of Charlotte Mason's philosophy that shape our curriculum at Comm Central. Living books and literature, emphasis on narration, individualized learning, appreciation of culture and heritage, nature studies, and hands-on learning. Let's start with living books. So what are they? Living books are books written with passion by authors who love their subject. Unlike dry textbooks, living books invite students into the story, spark their curiosity, and inspire reflection on character and life's deeper meanings. From history and science to literature and Bible study, we select texts that are written to inspire reflection on character and life's deeper meanings. We also build flexibility into the curriculum. Every family is different, so we offer options that support your teaching style and your students' learning style. We strongly recommend reading aloud. Yes, I know, even if you don't think you're a read aloud person, just please stick with me. I promise I may have some tips that might change your mind. So we all agree that helping our children become strong readers is so important. What I want you to consider is this. Both independent reading and listening to read alouds offer many of the same benefits. Expanded vocabulary. Students encounter rich language not typically heard in everyday speech or TV. Improved grammar and syntax. They hear how sentences are structured and how ideas flow. Cultural awareness and empathy. Books take readers to faraway places and introduce them to new perspectives. Increased attention span. They learn to listen carefully and think deeply, and the beauty is students gain these benefits whether they read the material themselves or hear it read aloud. But here's where read alouds go even further. Exposure to advanced vocabulary and concepts. The guideline here is to read books that are approximately 2 grade levels above your child's reading level. Remember how in a previous video I mentioned guiding your child to a higher level of learning? This is one way we accomplish that. Correct pronunciation. They hear unfamiliar words spoken correctly. Enhanced listening skills. Auditory learning is a vital life skill used not only in school but at church and in daily communication. Stronger imagination. When students aren't focused on phonetic decoding, their minds are free to explore and visualize. And 2 of my favorite benefits, discussion and proactive parenting. Stories allow us to teach moral and character lessons before behavior becomes an issue. So Jesus used stories, parables, because truth is often easier to see in the life of a character than it is when reflected in our own actions. Through read alouds and thoughtful conversations, we teach proactively, not just reactively. And if you're thinking, I just don't have time for read alouds, I've been there. 4 kids, a job, a busy life, I get it. You do have to prioritize, but I really encourage you to make room for the things that have the greatest long-term impact. Read alouds are just one of those things. If your time or energy is limited, then use audiobooks. Listen during breakfast or lunch, in the car, or while doing chores like folding laundry. If you can't be present, your student can still listen. It's not ideal, but it's still effective, especially when paired with this next tool, narration. Narration is the practice of retelling what was read or heard in your own words, focusing on the most important or most interesting points. It's simple, but it is a profoundly effective critical thinking exercise. Students have to recall information, synthesize it, organize it, and then articulate their ideas in a coherent way. It's a gentle introduction to public speaking right in your living room. I used to do narration during family circle time. I have 4 kids across 7 years, and I learned the hard way. Start with the youngest. When I made the mistake of starting with my oldest, he practically repeated verbatim everything I had just read, leaving the others with nothing really to offer. But when you start with the youngest, they say a sentence or 2, and then the next child adds more. And the beauty of it is, by the time you get to the oldest, they have to dig really deep to offer new insights or ideas that haven't been mentioned yet. It works beautifully. So whether you do it at the table or in the car, narration turns passive listening into active engagement. And the best part is, even if you don't have time for a read aloud, you can still assign an audiobook or let your student read independently. The key is the narration. After they finish, take a few minutes to listen and ask questions. Guide the discussion. No worksheets or testing required. It's simple, it's effective, and it's deeply personal. This works with high school students too. Have them narrate their assigned readings. Make it a habit. You will just be amazed at the long-term impact. My adult children still call me to tell me about their latest read. That's not just academic success, it's a relationship and a blessing. So we've discussed how narration is a critical thinking exercise. Here are some of the direct benefits. There are so many. I ran out of room and I had to stop. But in the right column, I've listed the opportunities our curriculum provides for narration. We've discussed read-alouds. Let's move to the last two. But one of them is closely related to Charlotte Mason's third principle of individualized learning. So we're going to take a detour for a moment to talk about that, and then we'll return to narration. We want to respect the student as an individual with unique interests. So our curriculum includes an assignment that encourages students across all grades to dig deeper weekly into subjects that pique their curiosity. They might hear something in their history lesson they want to learn more about, or they might walk outside at night and wonder about the phases of the moon. Whatever it is, we want to encourage them to be lifelong learners and explore these curiosities. So as a parent, you help them find a resource covering their interest and you read aloud or have them read independently when age appropriate. Here's where we return to narration. Have your student narrate what they thought was the most interesting about what you read. For younger students, this can become copy work. For students who have started composition, the last subject in our list of narration opportunities, please understand that narration and composition go hand in hand. When students narrate, you can help them create an outline based on their narration. They can then use the outline to compose complete sentences in paragraph form. You are modeling the composition process. As they get older, they still follow this same process. But now, instead of narrating to you, they are narrating to themselves internally and then writing or typing their own thoughts. And now they're quite good at it because you've modeled the process for so long. Well, that's a wrap on narration. Hopefully you're sold. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. So back to Charlotte Mason's concept of individualized learning. We also want to apply this idea to literature. Giving students some autonomy in their education is so important. We can easily do this with literature by guiding them in genre studies where we give students a curated list for the genre and then allow them to choose which book they read for the study. This will ignite a natural love for reading and transform reading from an assignment into an adventure. Our fourth focus is an appreciation of culture and heritage. Even though we follow a chronological progression like we discussed with classical education, each week we focus on a specific region or event. This allows students to fully immerse themselves in understanding the unique characteristics, challenges, and contributions of each culture. This fosters critical thinking as students are able to compare and contrast cultures and see how geography impacted the culture's development and their artwork or literature. Finally, Charlotte Mason's philosophy honors a student's interest in the natural world around them. With our science rotation, our curriculum provides plenty of opportunities for students to learn about the natural world around them at a level appropriate to their age. You can see that all grades study Life Science Year 1 and Earth Science Year 2. These two sciences provide an abundance of nature study opportunities. Many could probably be happy studying animals and nature throughout high school, but eventually we should delve into chemistry and physics, and there's a lot of hands-on activities in those sciences as well, most of which we'll be doing in class on launch day each week. So if your student is in 3rd or 4th grade, we recommend your student memorize a memory fact about the chemistry or physical science they are studying, and listen to a few paragraphs of a read aloud for context, but then study animals with their younger siblings. This is the time for nature journaling, bird houses, insect hotels, animal tracking, nature scavenger hunts, zoo or farm field trips, wildlife gardens, or a life-size body system diagram. Whether it's building a birdhouse or diagramming a nervous system, hands-on learning helps students connect knowledge with experience. That's a wrap on Charlotte Mason's influence on our curriculum. In our next video, we'll explore how unique design and our core values bring it all together. See you there. Reach out if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you.